please rise for the procession of the class of 2025. Please remain standing for our school song.
Kingswood Oxford, wyverns forever, we will always hold your memory dear. Red side our colors, wave black and crimson, faithful guide through our days spent here. All those we come here, all that we've done, will be a part of the path we've begun. Hail Kingswood Oxford, wyverns forever, we will always hold your memory dear. Now as we leave you, our Kingswood Oxford, we will cherish the days spent here. We will cherish the days spent
Please be seated. It is my pleasure, along with the trustees of Kingswood Oxford, to welcome all of our students, administrators, faculty, staff, family, friends, and those watching from across the globe on the live stream today to Kingswood Oxford's 113th commencement ceremony celebrating the great class of 2025. It's my honor to welcome a living legend, Mr. Ted Levine, to the stage to lead our invocation.
It's nice to know I'm still living. Good morning, and welcome to you all who have traveled near and far to join us today. And before I forget, happy birthday to Jack and Jenna and Bennett. You see, I didn't forget, huh? And tomorrow is Dom's. And sure you'll be back, Dom, to celebrate with me, you and me, alone. Well, maybe not. And Liv, first harmonica on class night. That was impressive. And to the class of 2025, I have a new band for your playlist, Black 47, an Irish Celtic rock band, a favorite. Politically passionate, at times angry, and there's one song refrain powerfully calling for a commitment to a cause. Where will you be when we need you the most? This might be soon. Your time now is for widening. You will soon have the big chance to explore complexities you have yet to see. And at the same time, you will sharpen, you'll find your single challenge, the profound question you have to answer, the ambiguity needing to be clarified. Scientists, you need to solve problems science created. Historians, make sure our collective memory moves beyond fable and forgetting. Reaffirm the civility of facts in a world of spurious voices. Artists, excuse me, things are sticky. Artists and writers, explore deeply our potentials and vulnerabilities. And all of you, accept the challenges of these times with confidence and prudence and modesty. Where will you be when we need you the most? So far, so good. Good optics. You have been a wonderfully caring class. You are remarkably talented. We all see this in so many moments. Last night, your terrific class night, your exquisite photography, paintings, and portraits offered brief yet deep glimpses of who you are, glimpses of you we would never catch just passing each other between classes. Your class night speeches let us know how you're ready to move on. Alex, from those first days and first friends onward, you locked in to a community always encouraging. And Izzy, how you created your unique milestones and how your 7-year KO journey is above all a confidence lesson. And it's now time for new stories. And don't forget to come back to my retirement party, which will happen every year. Nitty, the year ended abruptly. You wished for a moment you had another week or so. I'm with you on that one. Closure is a mix, exhilarating yet filled with thoughtful, sometimes pensive memories. Abby, it was worth the drive, wasn't it? You first arrived and quickly got the inside scoop, and from then on you embraced the new and went beyond any comfort zone. And Els, a blend of experiences made you more than ready, the shared ones and the ones singularly unique, then go for it. Embrace changes, patterns, and prospects. There are boats to be built. Joella, last night and all year long, your leadership and energy brought your class together to share what will surely be a future full of fresh choices. Claire, in your words, endurance, dedication, perseverance defined your journey here. Challenges, Claire? You just ran with it. Jack, your days here were composed of little conversations, both coincidental and meaningful, reflecting how the community embraces an ongoing reinvention of self and celebrates at once who you are and who you'll become. Shrew, you echoed how KO is never a solo journey, and your time here is full of challenges and close friendships. And Tommy, thanks for the advice. Your resilience after a tough moment can bring awareness and recommitment. Isn't that the KO message in one brief phrase? Reagan, last night you remind us how this community of friends and mentors and family is made in its seams, those moments truly forging a community of caring beyond self. And from this day forth, the time between 2 o'clock and 2:15 will be renamed the Max Wong Random 15-Minute Purposeless Break. Max, we already ordered the plaque. Thanks for the humor and for all you've done this past year. And Lily and Zaire, last night you showed us how good humor and good song build a community's bond. Pat Rossoff, and lots of these people will remember Pat Rossoff behind me, a wonderful artist and much missed KO art teacher, would say to her class, if I am overbearing and destroying your creativity, if I keep telling you to do something in a certain way, and your painting is becoming too much my painting, I want you to look me right in the eye and say, Mrs. Rossoff, give me the damn brush. And that is just what we did. We gave you so many brushes and so many palettes, and some of you painted in broad swaths, seeing concepts and abstractions, and to others, your brushes created fine details in your poems and prose. In your music and dance and design, you became master of the delicate and the refined. So take your brushes and palettes as you leave. And of course, stay connected to us. You have a community here that cares deeply about you, teachers who have listened to your ideas and nurtured your unique voices, teachers who have read every word you have written. You know what? You may never have this again, never in college and not in life. So to all of you, a deep thank you. You certainly impressed us, and we wish you all the very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Levine. I'd now like to welcome Rain Wong from the class of 2025 to come to introduce our commencement speaker.
Good morning, all. Today, I have the honor of introducing Peter Jones as this year's commencement speaker. Each year, KO seniors vote for a faculty member to speak at graduation. My class chose Mr. Jones, and I am beyond elated to celebrate our graduation with someone who has been such a vital part of this school for nearly 4 decades. What can I say about Mr. Jones that hasn't been said already? That he's one of the funniest, most engaging teachers you'll ever have, that he never runs out of wit, that he makes jokes in class that'll have you straining your ears to make sure you heard it right, and then doubling over in laughter when you realize that you did. If you've ever had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Jones, none of this is news to you. Mr. Jones has brought so much to our entire community during his tenure here, from his years leading juniors through the hefty AP US history curriculum to his role as a coach for baseball, soccer, and many other sports over the course of his time here, and as an advisor for clubs and advisee groups. I was lucky enough to have Mr. Jones for A-Push in junior year, and I look back on the memories I made in that class fondly, even now. I'm not much of a morning person, but I always looked forward to his class, even when it was the first period of the day. In fact, I remember beating him to his room a few times in those early mornings. He always welcomed me with a smile and a witty comment, and engaged the class with wry humor or some lighthearted ribbing. It's impossible to feel blue around Mr. Jones. He lights up everything and everyone around him. I can speak for all the people who adore him, and it's a lot of people, when I say that we'll miss him dearly next year, although he's not leaving KO for good, as he'll be back next spring for his 20th century music class. He is starting a new chapter of his life alongside our graduating class. I can't think of a better person to help us say goodbye to KO than the teacher who has been the beating heart of this place. It is my honor to now welcome Mr. Jones to the stage.
Rain, thank you very much for that kind introduction. I am humbled by your thoughtful words. And thank you to the class of 2025 for this incredible honor of inviting me to speak to you today. Exactly 17 years ago today, I had the privilege of giving the commencement address to the class of 2008. Though I am very doubtful that I will be asked to give the address to the class of 2042, 17 years from today, you never know. In preparing for today, I spoke with a number of people about what would be appropriate for me to say. I was instructed mostly about what subjects I should stay away from. I was told not to talk about COVID. I agree. I was told not to talk about politics. I agree. I was told not to talk about myself. But since that is one of my favorite topics, I don't think I can completely agree. I was also told not to talk too long, and I hope that I won't. On the other hand, I was told to talk at length about my advisees. However, as some of you have seen posted on the wall in my classroom, I have advised 273 students, and it would take much too long to mention them all, though I do see a number of former advisees in the audience. And I will say that this year's advisees, Bowden, Tommy, Scotty, Harry, Francesca, Abby, Margaret, and Bella, have all helped to make my last 2 years that much more enjoyable, and for that I am extremely appreciative. Thank you. I was also told to talk directly to the class, so in looking out at the class of 2025, some of you have been here for 2 years, some for 3, some for 4, a handful for 5 and 6, and then 24 of you for all 7 years. And for many of you, your family connections to KO are much longer than that. For me, this is my 38th KO commencement, and overall, my 50th high school graduation. I have heard many speakers at these graduations, and I've actually listened to quite a few. And whether you hear me, or in fact listen to what I have to say, I hope that I can add positively to such an important day in your respective lives. I also hope to convey some thoughts of my own about your going on to the next chapters of your lives. We have heard over the past several years about the importance of mindfulness, and I hope that you all make an effort to be mindful of time. Time is what you make of it. Try as much as possible to be aware of time. If you need time for yourself, spend it in an appropriate manner. As Harvey Mackay, former chair of the American Cancer Society, once said, "Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you've lost it, you can never get it back." Time, even though it is a social construct, is extremely important. Make your own time meaningful, even if that means spending time on and for yourself. Not all your time has to be productive, though it should have some purpose, especially if it is used for reflection or contemplation. Also remember to share your time and to be especially respectful of other people's time, and be constantly aware how your thoughts and actions can and will influence the lives of those with whom you come into contact. While I firmly believe that as we are instructed on airplane flights, we must take care of ourselves first and foremost, I think it is almost as important that we look out for each other. Those of you with whom I was lucky enough to teach in the Comparative World Religions course will remember the immense value of empathy that Confucius held in terms of human interactions, and how he felt that empathy was what made us more fully human. I truly believe that empathy is a fundamental quality of being both human and humane, certainly for civilized people everywhere. We have the ability to think, feel, and care beyond ourselves. And while some are better at this than others, I am convinced that looking at the world through the lens of those around us will enhance the lives of us all. Be aware of those with whom you interact, whether they are close to you or you deal with them in passing. Over the 50 graduation speeches I have heard, many have commented on the significance of friends and family. In fact, my talk 17 years ago focused on the importance of family and friends in my life. And while I will always completely agree with those sentiments, I also ask you to understand the incredible impact that the kindness of strangers can have on one's happiness and well-being, physically, mentally, and emotionally. For me, this has been especially true in terms of the health issues with which I have dealt over the past several years. Countless times, people with whom I came into contact only once or twice made my life more comfortable. Obviously, many of those were in the field of medical care, and the respective actions were part of their jobs. However, their kindness and the manner in which they interacted with me was often even more important than their medical care. I believe that I will never come across or even know the names of these people, and yet their actions and attitudes will stay with me either consciously or subconsciously for the rest of my life. I believe this can also be true in more everyday interactions, at the grocery store, in the mall, or simply walking in a public area. Please don't underestimate how our lives can be intertwined, and how you can make a positive difference on those you might not have a personal bond or relationship with. You may or may not recognize this during these interactions, but most probably you will never know for certain the impact you may have on others. I believe that recognizing and fostering the humanity in ourselves will go a long way to increasing the humanity in others, and even, maybe especially, if you never know of the impact of your kindness. As we learned last night from Mrs. Perkins, demonstrating that brilliant minds think alike, Maya Angelou, among others, is credited with saying, "People will forget the things you do, and people will forget the things you say, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Whenever possible, be that stranger who makes someone else's day or life that much more pleasant. And to do so, I ask you to remember Mr. Goodman's 3 rules. Rule number 1, rule number 2, and rule number 3. And for me, in conclusion, I hope you aspire to be a reason that people who you come to, I hope that you aspire to be the reason that people who know you come to believe in the overall goodness of humanity. To repeat, I hope that you aspire to be a reason that people who know you come to believe in the goodness of humanity. Please. And thank you. And congratulations to the amazing strawberries of 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. What a wonderful send-off for the class of 2025. All right, now's the time in our program where we get down to business, the primary reason we are here. So it's my pleasure to invite our head of upper school, Lisa Loeb, up to the podium, and our chair of the Board of Trustees, Jeff Gitlin, to assist in the presentation of diplomas to the class of 25.
Isabel Rachel Albert. Joella Amyamanogana Asapakai. Stephen Bailey. Jacob Barish. Nidhi Butt. Alexander Ethan Bronstein. Thomas Luke Caparasso. Ella Chen. Pinda Chen. Ray Chen. Sophie McAndrew Chen. Shihui Chen. Prescott Reagan Cloud. Sanford Miller Cloud. Abigail Priscilla Craig. Santiago Croes Boll. Ariane Dange. Sasha Francis Dawsey. Meredith Bracken Decker. Curran Patrick D. Isabella Antoinette Durlew. Clara Katerina Drag. William Carey Duval. Harrison Engel. Drake Fernald. Mackenzie Patricia Gallagher. Olivia Hendley Gallup. Che Gao. Nika Garfield. Maya Gadori Garretts. Christian Joseph Jingaleski. Christian Dale Gordon. Justice Benjamin Hanna. Cameron Hart. Reagan Carolee Hafey DeAngelis. Max Huang. Meseda Javed. Joseph Anthony Kalinowski. Jack Kanan. Photo. Jenna Marie Kanan. Jack Ion Kriebel. Benjamin Xavier Lafreniere. Francesca Maria Lamattina. Yudian Ma. William Burr McLean. Isabella Lily Mendelevici. Yeah. Margaret Grace Miller. Elizabeth Maria Morris. Adnan Murphy. Jack Nycree. Addison Faye Nicholson. Alexander James Oliveira. Anna Grace Olenschlager. Jace O'Neillia. Mohan Arav Shah Palanki. Claire Lorraine Palmer. Julian Pishachuska. Zaire Alim Ramiz. Cameron Rios. Ava Restino. Nikhil Joaquin Sharma Royan. Owen Leo Roy. Ryan William Sadowski. Olivia Ann Shaler. Abigail Lily Schiff. Mia Lillian Scranton. Alexandria Elizabeth Siegel. Kieran Daniel Sakarin. Matthew Michael Silva. Bennett Rockwell Smith. Julia Sedin Son. Emma Elizabeth St. Clair. Ethan Anderson Steck. Leo Moses Sussman. Bowden James Swanson. Lily Maya Temkin. Daniela Maria Tipner. Shruthan Reddy Tokala. Eleanor Combe Toomey. Alyssa Toussignon. Jonathan Troyan. Dominic Daniel Trolio. Evan Michael Tyler. Amy Rain Wong. Cameron Grace Weinstein. Ella Jean Wilson. Alexa Paige Wolf. Leslie Yan. Ziwin Yin. Jenyin Zhang. Hungry Zhao. Stella Blue Zimmer. The class of 2025.
Please be seated. I was going to say let's have a round of applause for the class of 2025, but let's do it again. Before I get started, today is an extra special day, as I think Mr. Levine already said, because we have not one, not two, but three of our graduates celebrating their birthdays today. So happy birthday, Bennett, Jack, and Jenna. I just gave you your birthday present. Before I get started with the annual charge to the senior class, I'd like us to take a moment to thank some important people. While your diploma is the result of a lot of hard work on your part, there have been an army of supporters dedicated to helping you get here today, and I think it's important that we acknowledge them for a moment. Thank you first to our Buildings and Grounds crew, Kata Baker, Ron Garcia, Michael Bain, and Sherry Malinowski for putting all of this together. It takes countless hours to put off a big event like this, and it would not be possible without you. Thank you also to the Kingswood Oxford Board of Trustees. This is a group of people who have full-time jobs of their own, but they dedicate many, many hours at times of their spare time to support and promote Kingswood Oxford's strategic vision and our compelling mission to inspire students to excel and lead lives of integrity. Their efforts have also made it possible for this amazing class to become graduates. So please thank me in joining the Board of Trustees. To our parents of seniors, raise your hands. Thank you for entrusting us with the awesome task and responsibility of educating your children. Seniors, your parents have been your biggest supporters and have made more sacrifices than they can count in time, money, and energy to provide you with the opportunity to come to KO and graduate. So please join me in thanking the parents of the graduating class. And lastly, our faculty. Seniors, where would you be without this amazing group of talented, dedicated, and caring adults who brought you into your lives, shared their passions with you. They challenged you to reach further heights than you ever believed possible. They picked you up when you fell, and they believed in you every minute of the way. Please join me in thanking the incredible faculty of the Kingswood Oxford School. Class of 2025, as you head off into this next exciting chapter of your lives, I want to leave you with just a few final pieces of advice. But instead of quoting from famous philosophers or presidents, I thought I would turn to the animal kingdom for a moment. Now, you might think I would use the example of a lion, be brave, or perhaps an ox, very strong, or even our own fierce wyvern, be intimidating. But no, the animals I have in mind are a bit less understated. I'm talking about the goldfish, the owl, and the firefly. Each one of them has something important to teach you about how to move through this world with resilience, with wisdom, and with kindness. And each one in its own way reminds me of the lessons you've learned here at Kingswood Oxford. First, be a goldfish. Don't be too hard on yourself. The world will be hard enough on you at times. You'll have deadlines and expectations. You'll have disappointments. Life has a way of humbling us, whether we ask for it or not, so don't pile on yourself. You don't need to be your own harshest critic. You're going to make mistakes, you will take wrong turns, and you'll say things that you regret. You'll get a C on that paper that you were sure was an A. The question is not whether you're going to stumble, you will. The question is, what do you do next after that? When you do, be a goldfish. Now, I realize you probably were expecting something a little more inspirational than an aquarium metaphor, but hear me out. This phrase comes from one of the world's greatest philosophers and soccer coaches, Ted Lasso. In season 1 of the Netflix hit Ted Lasso, a young player named Sam Obasanye, he makes a terrible mistake on the field during a game. He's visibly upset and frustrated, clearly stuck in the moment and letting it affect his confidence and his performance. Coach Lasso walks over to him and says, "You know what the happiest animal on earth is?" Sam looks confused. "It's a goldfish. You know why?" "No, coach. It's got a 10-second memory. So go be a goldfish, Sam." Being a goldfish means letting go of your mistakes quickly, forgiving yourself without drama, and staying focused on what's next instead of what just went wrong. It's about resilience, refusing to let a bad moment define the rest of your day, your game, or your sense of self. You will never get better unless you fail, so take your failures as opportunities for growth. One of the greatest and most successful athletes of all times, Michael Jordan, lived by that mantra. He once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Closer to home, imagine where we would be today if one of high school's greatest baseball players, Tommy Caparasso, had let that missed play against Choate last year define him. If he wallowed in self-pity instead of using it as fuel to get better. We might not be sitting here today as the Founders League baseball champs if Tommy hadn't been a goldfish. Too many people carry the mistakes around with them like luggage. They replay every misstep, every awkward conversation, every I can't believe I just did that, but that weight gets heavy and it can pull you down. Don't let it. Forgive yourself, laugh it off, learn, or as Taylor Swift would say, just shake it off. If my first charge is to go easy on yourself, my second is to do the opposite with your opinions. Be an owl. Owls aren't just wise, they can actually rotate their heads almost 270 degrees. Now that's perspective. That's what we need more of today. Turn your head, look at things from all sides, like our friend the owl. We're living in a time when truth is under siege. Misinformation spreads faster than facts. Disinformation is weaponized, and deep fakes blur the line between reality and illusion. In the face of all of this, there's a growing temptation to cling to simple answers, to choose certainty over complexity, slogans over substance, because it feels easier, it's faster, it's more comfortable. But comfort's not the same as clarity, and truth, the kind that really matters, requires patience, humility, and hard work. That's why holding your beliefs up to the light is so important. In such a world as this, we need truth seekers and people who can look at things from all of the angles. People brave enough to ask, how do I know this to be true? And to keep asking even when the answers are inconvenient. At Kingswood Oxford, you have learned how to think critically, how to question assumptions, how to seek understanding. You've studied history, science, literature, and ethics, not just to absorb knowledge, but to understand how knowledge is built. The world is not a simple place. Most of the important issues, climate change, immigration, tariffs, the war in Israel and Gaza, DEI, all have more than one side, more than one story, more than one solution. These are layered, sometimes painful, but urgent conversations. They deserve more than tweets and slogans. So don't settle for certainty. You've been taught at KO to be intellectually curious. Let curiosity lead you, not ego. Use the same rigor you would in a lab or a research paper. Ask questions, seek evidence, consider counterarguments, test your assumptions, and yes, look for ways that you might be wrong. If your belief cannot survive that kind of scrutiny, it's not ready to carry the weight of your conviction. The strongest beliefs are not the loudest. They're the ones that have been tested by challenge, shaped by dialogue, explored from every angle, and grounded in a commitment to truth over comfort. Don't let your thinking get dumbed down. Be the person in the room who still respects nuance, still asks questions, still seeks other perspectives. Be the owl. That's what the world desperately needs. And finally, if goldfish shake it off and owls seek out complexity, then fireflies shine. They shine quietly, consistently, and gently. So my last charge to you is be a firefly. Try to be a light for others. You're going to meet people who are struggling along the way, who feel like they don't belong, who are unsure of themselves, who may be wandering in the dark. Sometimes they'll tell you, often they won't, but you can still be the one who shows up for them in kindness, who notices, and who makes space for them. Often in the early morning, I come downstairs and I get a cup of coffee, and I like to listen to new releases on Spotify. A few weeks ago, a song by an artist named Dan Mangan came up called Soapbox. And I was listening there, and there was a line that stood out for me at that time. And I thought, this is the class of 2025. It goes, there are those who take in strangers. I suppose the kindness sets them free. There are those who leave a light on in case another needs to see. Be that kind of person. You don't have to fix anyone's life. You don't have to shine like the sun. You just have to leave the light on for someone else. Sit with them, with someone who's hurting. If you see a student in college next year who looks like they could use a friend, invite them to sit at your table. Be a steady presence when things get hard. And here's the truth. The world also needs more fireflies right now. It needs more kindness, more empathy, as Mr. Jones said, more people who show up and say, you're not alone. In a time when so much feels divided, performative, or just plain loud, we need steady, quiet lights. People who care, who notice, who make things just a little bit better for others around them. So go out there and be that firefly, be that light. So that's my charge to you, class of 2025. Be a goldfish, be an owl, be a firefly. Let go of mistakes, question your certainty, and shine your light where it's needed most. Class of 2025, know that our doors here at KO will always be open to you. Don't be strangers. Come back for reunions. And if you need a place to crash, a number of you have already spotted a place outside in my backyard that you've claimed that you can use at any time. Mi casa es su casa. We can't wait to hear about the adventures that you'll have when you return to say hello. I leave you with a somewhat overused Gaelic blessing, but overused perhaps for good reason. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. One final charge, call your parents at least once a week, and no, a text does not count. I now invite Mr. Rob Keif to the stage for a farewell message.
Thank you, Mr. Dillow. Kingswood Oxford class of 25. Goldfish, owls, and fireflies. 100 years ago this spring, F. Scott Fitzgerald published his classic novel, The Great Gatsby. I wasn't around, by the way. A book that most of you read during your sophomore year and many of you cherish. Last week, one of your classmates, Ella Wilson, shared with me a quotation attributed to Fitzgerald that expresses many of the wishes I have for you today. He wrote, "I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people with a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of." With Fitzgerald's words in mind, may you go forth with knowledge, wisdom, and determination And as Mr. Jones and Mr. Dillo said, above all, with compassion and kindness. Godspeed to all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Keif. Now, it's a long-standing tradition at Kingswood Oxford that a senior is not officially graduated until they have shaken the hand of every faculty member at the school. So seniors, as you process out of the field house in a few minutes, please make your way to the receiving line, which will be between CT and Roberts on the way up to the senior green. Parents, feel free to follow along, get some photos up by the green, but please be sure to allow space for the seniors and faculty to say farewell to one another. We will recess speakers and trustees on stage first, then colleagues, and finally the class of 2025. Please rise for the recessional.